welcome to Women's Biz Tribe Success Summit. Those of you who are just joining in now, welcome, welcome, welcome. You can also go back over the last 2 days and watch one or many of 44 different presentations from women around the globe. It's actually been so inspirational. I'm seriously just pinching myself. I'm so thrilled to be here with you. And now I would love to introduce you to Dr. Khomotso Mashalane. She is a globally recognized humanitarian, a philanthropist, a woman's empowerment advocate. For over 2 decades, she has continued to be instrumental in empowering women from small capabilities to leadership positions. Her key focus is on researching issues concerning women in leadership, like salary disparities between men and women, as well as social and business equity challenges that women face. We seriously need more Khomotsos. Through her professional and academic endeavors, Khomotso has shown a great vision for humanity and humankind at a core level, and we are so thrilled that she is able to come and share a message to us all today. Welcome, Khomotso.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the audience for making time. This is a great opportunity for me. Thank you, Annie, for organizing this. It's great. I feel great. I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Khomotso, are you able to speak a little bit louder for us?
Hello.
Hello, welcome. Are you able to share your message with us?
Yeah, I'm struggling to hear a bit. If you see me something funny, must know that it's because I'm struggling to hear. I don't know. Maybe it's because of where I am. We have network issues here.
That's
But I'll
okay.
try my best. Yeah,
Try
that's
your
okay.
best.
That's okay. I'll do everything. You know, women are creative.
Wonderful. Well, how about you just please share your message with us and I will ask you some questions along the way.
Okay. Must I start with my message? Hi, hi everyone. My name is Khomotso. I don't know if I should wait for you any, but I'll just proceed with what I have already.
I'm just giving you the full screen, Khomotso, so they can just see you. I'm right here. I'm just giving all the attention to you.
Okay, so you'll just come in if there's any need. We'll
correct.
be creative. They will be creative.
Yes.
So shall I carry on?
Yes, please.
All right. My name is Khomotso. I'm a women advocate, women empowerment advocate, especially focusing on the outcomes of women empowerment and redefining empowerment. But this is where I would like to start today. I don't want to waste a lot of time with introducing myself. Some of you have read, or I think Annie has introduced as well. You've read the profile. But what I'd like to share with a lot of people now and the whole world is that I believe that COVID-19 has taught us something common. I think we have common lessons for the very first time in our life. We are living in the interregnum period, which is like something in between, you know, where you need to transit or have a transition of some sort, whether you like it or not, because the pandemic has affected life. There is life uh, before COVID-19 and there's life post-pandemic. Pandemic. So we need to have a different way of doing things. They're not just carry on.
Sorry, Khomotso, your sound has just disappeared. I'm wondering, those listening in, can you hear Khomotso, or is it just me? Khomotso, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Sorry, Khomotso, your sound has gone. Yeah, we can't actually hear you. Something's happened to your sound. Still not great. A little bit, very faint. I know it's really challenging for you. We just want to try. Oh, that was loud. Try again. No. Can't hear you. We're just looking for a little what. I love the way you're looking for a hotspot. Oh, such a shame. I know. We're all interested in hearing your message. We'll just keep persevering. Hang in there, everyone watching, because it's worth listening to Dr. Khomotso. No, still no good. Do you think it might be just your phone?
I don't know.
Oh, that was better. What happened then? Try and talk again.
I don't know. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
I can. Fantastic. Oh, yay.
Let me just stand where. Yeah.
Just
Let me
stay
just stand where I am.
Let's just
All
stay
right.
where you are.
I'll
Fantastic.
just stand where I am.
Thank you so much. Please start again.
Thank you. Thank you. So must I proceed?
Yes, please.
Can I proceed?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
I was just. Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity, Annie. Thank you for the audience, the global community, for watching this. Annie, thank you so much for organizing this. I've learned so much from all those powerful women. So what I was trying to share earlier, for the benefit of those who didn't hear, is that, post-COVID-19 forces us to transform, whether you like it or not, because it has somehow affected the whole world in the same way. So, but the thing is, before we can address how we can change leadership and shape it or reshape, I think we need to look at how it has transformed, how it has impacted lives. So all of us are forced to change. Whether it's an organization, I mean, before you can change an organization, you need to change the person, because those are the people that will be in the organization and they are from the community. So it means the whole global world has to change how we do things and how we view things. And you don't have to change everything. I mean, if you look at, the problems, the tragedies like Hiroshima, for example, they changed for the better. We also have to look at the benefits or the opportunity that you get from a disaster like COVID-19. But I believe that everything must change. People must change, organizations, the how, either it's the how you do things, what was missing. You do not necessarily have to dismantle everything. Even as people, I've changed myself in the last 2 years. So I think it's a requirement because it has impacted everybody. It has its own negatives, but let's look at how we can take the positives and take what we already have learned in the past, and move with it and improve, and also look at what we have neglected and what we have ignored, or what was not necessarily fully utilized to the maximum. This is the opportunity to correct the wrongs of the past and to connect differently, relate differently, everything. So I think it's a time to pause as leaders. Just pause a bit, not necessarily stop your business, but pause
and see what greatness or what is it that is greater, than the tragedy that we can do. Because you always have to look at, that's how I look at life. You look at the disadvantages of what happened to you, and you turn it into an advantage. They always say turn lemon into lemonade.
Yes.
How can we take the tragedy? I know that COVID has passed better now, but how can we take all those challenges that were brought by COVID, whether it's depression, some families were broken, there's just a lot on a psychological, emotional, the social level, the personal level, and everything. Career, some lost jobs, but how can we build something much more better? That is why I'm using this example of Hiroshima, because Hiroshima became better even afterwards. So I think this is the opportunity for every person before we can even go to the leadership, because leadership should start with self-awareness. So that is why where I am, and I have changed my life. I don't mind to share with people how I changed it, because I used that silence of COVID-19. I used that silence of being at home, alone, thinking, to sort of dig deeper and get my own strength. I just found new strength. So I think even with organizations or wherever we are as communities, there is always a way of dealing with something in a positive way. That's how I see it as leaders, before we can go to books. And I know there are so many books of leadership and success and everything. But if something like that happened, before we go back into those books that I read, Maxwell, all of them, let's be human and look at ourselves as human beings. Let's be more humane and human. Let's bring that human element and draw it into whatever we do, whether it's in organizations or at home, how we relate and all that. That was my takeaway for me.
That is such a great takeaway, Khomotso, because here we can just go, oh, how are we getting over so that we can get back? Do you know what I mean? A lot of the conversation is, how do you move past COVID so that we can get the life we had before? What you're saying is, actually, no, we don't want to just inherit the life we had before. This has been done for whatever reason. Let's take that time out. I love what you've done. You've actually taken the time to go, you know what? I need to stop. I need to reflect, pause what I was doing before, think about what do I need to take into my future that will empower me, support me, make me a better person, more humanity, as you say. Yes.
Exactly.
Because then we're actually going to come out. We should come out a stronger person, right? A stronger community, a stronger company. Because we had to, not often do we get to have that time that we all go, let's have a stock take and let's do a big audit, right? And then assess what is working for us and what is helping us move forward. But this has done that for us. Yes, I love your point on that.
Yeah.
And how has that helped you then with those that you're a leadership expert, you're helping companies, organizations in leadership? How are you helping them now as they're coming out of COVID? What sort of principles are you trying to help them learn, do you think?
Annie, I must be honest, I've been, if you want to change something, even if you want to change or use this experience of COVID-19 to our advantage, we still have to go back. We still have to go back and read Plato's books, Socrates' books, and all those books. But the thing is, if you want to build something, I've been looking at the patterns of leadership. We like to put leadership in a framework, as if it's a framework, and if you do not fit into that framework, you are not complying. It's like a checklist. You have to, it's like check, check, check.
Yeah.
That I must be honest. it is good, but it has also robbed us as people, because we could not identify a lot of leaders who could have made a lot of difference in this world because of that framework of that we have used. You know, like a leader has to have integrity. I know integrity is good. I love it. I have integrity. But the minute you do not comply with that, then you fall out of the. Well, maybe I didn't use a good example, not integrity, but you see, a lot of those things that we put. And there's one example that was quite fascinating for me. The Steve Jobs, for example.
Mm-hmm.
People like Albert Einstein.
Mm.
You know, if you look at being a conformist, if we use conforming as a measure of success, that's one of the takeaways for me. Sometimes it may be good, but sometimes it can be to the detriment of the growth of the organization or your own kids. You look at Steve Jobs, for example, that's what I tell people. You look at Steve Jobs, for example, at one point, because he couldn't keep up, let me just say the curriculum at the school couldn't keep up with his level of intelligence. At one point, he put a bomb under his teacher's chair. You see, that level of naughtiness sometimes is someone craving for more. I need more challenging stuff. I need more that will awaken me as a human being. But it seems the education that we have, either it's at managerial level, leadership and all that, we have all those good things. Be a good communicator, listen, be a good listener, communicate, be strategic. There's a balanced scorecard, operationalize, strategize. We have all those nice good words. But I always say, let's go back. It's like just dismantle a little bit. Can you see where this is working? Yes, it does work. They work. But it can also be a disadvantage when I give you an example of a person like Albert, for example, who just wore different shoes for no reason, who refused to be on the queue with other students and questioned, why must I be on this? Why do you put us on the same queue? People who questioned things. I think this is the time we need to question even more. Because questions are like a navigation system. They help you to locate where people are. And those people also, it enables them to locate where you are. Because if you can go on pretending with that framework, good frameworks, good strategy, which is there, which is gathering dust there, and not evaluate and assess generally globally as a global world, what is working, what is not working, we're going to have a problem. And this is what I do every year. You know, when it's New Year's Day, they say you have resolutions. I never have resolution. I don't have resolution. What I do, I go back and then I look at all those resolutions that I tried to make in the past and where I failed, and that I still need to carry them, on. I still need to understand why that didn't happen, because it's exciting when you make them, when you have that list. So this is where we are. We do not necessarily have to change how we manage, how we lead. But the first thing that I know that will be common to all organizations is that let's bring that human element, humanity, the people within the organization. Let's understand them differently for who they are. Because people excel more when they are authentic.
Yes.
The minute you try to make me something that is not Khomotso, you also losing good quality things or attributes that Khomotso could bring to the table. So you might as well sometimes accept people who are a bit different, like Steve Jobs, who once told his parents, He says, at one point, I realized that I'm more intelligent than my parents. I'm more smarter than my parents. And he told them, and they accepted. How many people can do that? Tell your parents that, guys, I just want you to know that I'm more smarter than you and I want you to accept. And they accepted. They had to understand that this child is not necessarily naughty or useless. No, we sometimes think people are useless because they do not fit into something. We are so programmed. We like a pattern, like conform.
Yes.
Comfort, because I'm used to this. So I'm saying this is the time where we can sort of transform and change most of the things, maybe not necessarily the structure, but the how we do those things, how we evaluate people at work. If we were not using women as a powerful source to the maximum, this is the right time. We may not know how to use women, but what I tell people sometimes about empowerment of women is that you cannot empower a person without knowing what depowered this person in the past. If there is anything that depowered this person, it may be a marriage, it may be a miscarriage, it may be a rape incident, it may be something traumatic, it may be a culture. There are cultures that disempowers people. So before you can empower a person, we've been empowering, but we are not looking at this. What were the things that dispowered this person? Don't build on something that you do not understand. Let's understand past better. We still have to take a little bit of, not a little bit. I mean, we don't change any structure. When Hiroshima was rebuilt after that bomb, for many days, kids couldn't sleep at night at all. You know why? Because of the trauma. When you have experienced something, there's a rumor. It's a rumor. That one I really don't have proof that plants couldn't grow there for 75 years. There was one flower that started to grow after 75 years. And I'm talking about this because there's also an element of understanding that this will be gradual. It's not something that can happen overnight. So that is why we need to bring in humanity, which means be patient, tolerant, ask more questions than ever before, and not just ask questions, because questions are very important as a leader. And let's leave this thing of saying those ones are not executives. We are not bringing them on board. Let's bring everybody on board. You know what I've realized, Annie? Sometimes people who are not in the boardroom are the ones who know a lot.
Yes.
When I was working, I used to be friends with, whether it's a tea lady, a garden boy will tell you something that is so about the company. They will be the one knowing that, do you know that this company is going to be closed next week? A tea lady. So the fact that this person is not qualified or does not have a degree must not mean that much. Let's relax the rules a little bit, and now I'm bringing in diversity and inclusion as well. And not for the sake of, because they said diversity and inclusion is important. No. Embrace it. Let's do ourselves a favor. Let's embrace people who are different from us. It seems we have been programmed, or it's just human nature to love similar things. I was like that. I used to have friends who liked, same things that I liked and everything. But now I think if you can bring more diversity, it will be to our benefit. Because you see, as a human being, we must forget this mentality of thinking that being a leader means you are perfect. Leaders actually must be people who are vulnerable, who will tell you that I blundered last week. You know what I did? Oh my God, you won't believe this. This is what I did. At least have someone that you tell. At least own it that you're not perfect. Because if you do not do that, you're gonna see other people as, weaker people. They do not have the same qualities that you have because you are a leader. No, leaders are people who are just authentic. They must just be authentic. But guess what? I was so stupid. I felt like this, and this is what I did. And then you laugh with someone, and then you laugh. It's okay. Nothing feels so good like being authentic, because that's where you draw your intelligence. Your intelligence is like gold. Gold cannot come, when it's polished and it's clean. Unfortunately, you're gonna take it with everything, whatever it is, not polished and everything. So that's what happens with people as well. We must not say, you know what? We noticed when he was in grade 3 that he's not gonna be. You will be very surprised, because those are people that changed the world.
Yes.
So I think we have to find a way of sort of embracing diversity. Not necessarily, when you think about diversity, we're thinking, oh, color, or no, please, there's more to diversity than, we think. There's people who are not as intelligent as you think, because you have your own way of measuring intelligence. And maybe socially they're more intelligent than you. And,
exactly.
In this era, we need people who are socially intelligent, emotionally intelligent, who understand diversity, not necessarily understanding only, but also implementing and being able to draw the best, and understanding that these people we are not similar. So it means they're going to bring new strength that I do not possess. If I have done my own balanced scorecard and my own SWOT analysis, I will understand that it means Annie or the other person or the tea lady or whoever may have that skill that I do not have. Because trust me, when you go to that garden boy and you speak, you may find that he knows so much about you that you don't know. So I know that I'm intentionally not using any framework or structure, because I just believe that let's pause and look at our structures and see where there can be change. What can we do? How can we restructure? How can we add? How can we use this? Are we using women to the maximum? Or are we saying we are complying because it's 50 women? Because that's what I used to do at work. That's the work they were giving me. 50 women and 50 women, we are complying. That's not compliance. Because it's about quality, and I always say that it's quality. Are they what value are they bringing on the table? And we are not saying bring women for the sake of women. It's also the duty lies with us as well as women to do our part, to study. You know that I called you. I don't even know at what time it was, because I was reading all these books, because I cannot go forward if I don't understand the past. If I don't understand why Socrates put whatever philosophy, there's Plato, there's Maslow's hierarchy of needs and all those things, they still need to be taken into account, and we need to now say how can we improve and add, or we're not removing anything, or include, but be more human. And you see, the other thing that kills us, that I tell people, is that we have this, like in Africa, for example, we have maps, we have geographical demarcations, but the problem is that people have those demarcations ingrained in their heads, and that is a problem, because you're gonna lose. You see, because now if we integrate as people and we sort of combine our intelligences, we will be able to understand and learn and be more impactful and make a difference. Because as human beings, we have it in us. We have that power in us. It's not everything about a human being is in books, honestly. Some of the things, you just figure them out and we realize that, hang on, but I do have a solution for this. I think if we can do this and not do this, or not do this way, sometimes it's about the way, but we, as leaders, we have to be more intense. We have to apply ourselves more. But it's important to understand where we apply ourselves so that we do not apply ourselves, and feel exhausted unnecessarily. We still need to plan. We still need people. You need the right people on the table. As women, sometimes we think, so-and-so is my friend, so it's going to be nice. No. On the table, the real table, you need people who contribute, people who add value, people who will not be threatened by other people, people who want other people to succeed. Because where we are, it's no longer about Khomotso, it's not about Annie, it's about the tribe. I like, the name that you use. We are having a tribe that must follow us. It's generations and generations that we must change and impact. So let's make decisions that will impact those generations and not exclude anyone. Because when you exclude, maybe those are the people that will execute better. How will they execute if they do not even understand where the strategy is going, what's the vision, what's going on? Yeah. I'll tell you, I went to a hotel 2 weeks ago. I was very impressed. You know what impressed me? Because I always go to hotels, and then, at the security gate, when you enter, you find a guy who's very angry for no reason. He's very angry. He's not aligned with the vision of the hotel. And that's a turn-off, because you have to carry it through. Even the person that does the garden, the person who's the gate must understand and show it, reflect that. So I went to this hotel. This guy was very helpful, was very happy. Oh, you know what? You turn right, and then when you go there, there's parking. Please don't be lost. I'm begging you. But he was honest with me. I said, but why are you so? Because it was the first time. Many of them just become so angry when they see. I don't know why. But the hotel will be beautiful, beautiful food and everything. But that's a turn-off. I will not go back because of that security guy. So that one was friendly. I asked him, but why are you so nice and friendly? And then he said, my boss told me that nobody must get lost. It must be easy for them to find parking, to find, the lift, everything. And I must be nice. That's what he told me, my sister. He told me that. And I was quite impressed because that's a strategy that was, do you understand? It cascades down, even it means the tea lady understands that you treat people well. Not where you go, the hotel is beautiful, it's expensive, it's everything. The owner of the hotel is on Forbes magazine, but when I go, when I'm at the gate, that guard or security guard is so angry with me, and I've done nothing by that time, really. I don't even know why I'm already guilty for something. You see, and you ask for directions, it's like, no, just go there, and he doesn't even want to look at you. You don't understand why. It's a turn-off. Those are the things which they can't be told or taught at Harvard University. You just have to know. But if you go back to our humanity, the way we are as human beings, and feel, we will know these things. Otherwise, we're gonna conform to everything that is in the book and use frameworks, because a leader is supposed to be like this. A leader must be like this. Be a role model. It's serious pressure for leaders, because really it's not possible. I like what leaders said, that just be authentic. As a leader, you can't be perfect. How can I be perfect? There was no network that side. Now I'm standing here and I'm still a leader, because, I can go and sit down. I make mistakes. I have kids. You are a mother. It doesn't mean you're a perfect mother. Sometimes you don't even know what you're doing as a mother. We have to share these things because people think maybe everything is perfect. No. Being a leader is allowing yourself to be authentic. You know what I like? When the biographer of Steve Jobs said, at first Steve wanted to hide certain things, because he wanted to belong to that framework, like as a leader. But he says later he came to him and said, no, write everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Because Steve Jobs realized that that's what's gonna teach people. Because we eliminate people by giving them an impression that leaders are people who they have a good life, their kids are well behaved, their husbands or their boyfriends always do great things, bring flowers. Please no. So what happened is that he allowed the biographer to write everything. He said, you can even write that I had a child and then left that child, but later on I took care of the child. And then tell them that the reason why I was so motivated in life and that I succeeded was because my real parents abandoned me. So I wanted to prove to them, that's Steve Jobs, that I wanted them to regret abandoning me. And by the way, don't call them my biological parents. They're not my biological parents. They're just sperm donors, and that's all. He was real, and that's what I loved about him. Real. So I think people must be allowed to be real, because it seems leadership somewhere is hanging and it's that star that is shining. No, really. And that is why people think maybe I will never be a leader because I experienced this and that and that. No, it's not like that. Leaders are just people who share their stories, are vulnerable, they went through a lot like other people, it's life, and we have to tell our stories so that more people can be encouraged. And the biographer did a great job. He did tell everything about Steve Jobs because he allowed himself just everything. Even the wife said, tell everything about him. The bad things that he did, the demons in him, you must, write about everything. So I'm saying this because I just feel that we are at a point where we need to let's embrace the good, the bad, and the ugly. And because we can learn. There are certain people who we must not conform to, like, when you see a leader, you see that man, that tall man who's wearing a suit and is smart. Some of them don't like there's no a perfect description of how a leader should look like. We must just be authentic, and it's so nice to be authentic, because when I'm more intelligent when I'm authentic. and you have to remove people who sort of affect your authenticity. The people that are around you, your affiliations and subscriptions, the people that make you fit into something, some container, a small container that doesn't serve you. What if I want to be something that is bigger and I want like a flower in a flower pot? You have to get the right flower pot. You can't put me in a flower pot which is not gonna enable me to grow to the maximum, because I have to reach my potential. The same applies to people. Let's look closer and see, because the world is evolving. It's changing all the time. If we do not change, we will be left behind by our own world, and we will not have a world. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for bringing that message to us today. I absolutely love it, and I know those listening in, praise God for making that sound connection happen, because it was worth pursuing. I just love your message of, the diversity and inclusion, because that's exactly it. And I love the way that you see that in the tribe, the concept of the tribe. Look what we're trying to do in the Women's Business Tribe. We're trying to get that tribe is global. It's like women of all religions, countries, different, disabilities, abilities, different personalities. It actually represents humanity, right? And so if we can actually get that with appreciation and support and acknowledgement that people have different opinions, people have different views, and that is good, that is healthy, that is what represents, a modern progressive society. And if you get that framework right, you bring those principles into organizations, and that is truly reflected in leadership, then you will be actually improving post-COVID. I agree with you. You don't want to just have 50%. You don't want to just go, I'm your female token. You actually want the diversity that comes from that, the different thinking, the different way of negotiating, challenging ideas, male and female, different, not just in gender, different races, different cultures, different life experiences, different people who've lived through wars and challenges and abuses. They'll all bring a perspective to that family, that community, that organization, and this is a good thing. And I love your reflection on Steve Jobs, because that's exactly it. If we have a view on what a leader is or what success is, all we are doing is trying to then conform to a principle or a concept or an idea that was actually determined by someone or a group in time, but it doesn't mean that it's actually what we need moving forward. So I agree with you. We need frameworks, we need to work with principles, but we also need to be very intelligent, and that's what you're showing with us today. So challenge things, challenge people's views on things, ideas, perspective on things, because that is healthy, that is good. All you're doing is saying, I'd love to know your rationale for what you're doing, not that we do it that way. I don't want that. I want to know, why do we do it that way? And has it been looked at from a different perspective? And if that old way is still the best way, great. But if other people have other ideas, even if that other idea comes from a small child who's just brilliant, wonderful. We should not fear. So I don't think we should fear that. I think we should embrace it and go, we just want a world that supports diversity, includes people, and embraces new ideas and new thinking. Because look at the people who've changed the world are usually the people who've been the outliers, like Albert, like Steve Jobs. They're people who, most of them will tell a story that they didn't fit in. They were the child at school who got bullied, who just kind of had an issue, just went, I'm not quite right. Whereas they're actually perfect. They're just different, and they had an ability to learn differently, express themselves differently. And it is awkward. It's uncomfortable sometimes when we're different, right? But when we do and we accept that, we can agree to disagree, but sometimes we'll go, they're right, and we need to change our ways. So, oh my goodness, you just be all excited, Khomotso. I'm going to have to let you go because we've got another speaker waiting to come on. But thank you so much for giving up your time and to bring. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.